bring in Keenan Loomis, who is the president and CEO of the Canadian Institute of Steel Construction, to get a little more analysis. Keenan, good to see you. Appreciate your time. Your thoughts on what you just heard there from Mark Carney as it relates to the steel industry?
Well, thanks for having me on. Certainly, there's a lot of encouraging words, a lot of points. We appreciate, I guess, the attention more than anything. We in the aluminum industries are the ones that are hardest hit right now by the actions taken by our neighbors to the south. We do appreciate that, the most important thing for us is to have a stabilized trading relationship with our neighbors to the south. As you say, we supply a lot of steel into the U.S., and I represent the fabricators across the country. So we're the ones that engineer the steel to make our infrastructure here domestically. We do a lot of work in the U.S. as well. So overall, that for us is the most important thing that we need to see coming out of this. But the Prime Minister has, I suppose, introduced a carrot and a stick. It depends on what the actions of the U.S. is going forward. Again, we'd like to get back to zero, but we need to understand right now we're operating under 50% tariffs from the U.S. and we have not fully retaliated. So to be able to maintain that option, depending on how things go over the next month, it's a smart move. It doesn't solve anything at this point in time, but certainly something we welcome.
What does it mean when the Prime Minister talks, Keenan, about trying to limit steel coming into Canada from other countries, not the United States, but from third-party countries? China obviously comes to mind, but that's a way to try and help the domestic steel industry, sort of in layman's terms. What does that mean?
That's the whole source of these tariffs from the U.S. It is about the global oversupply of steel that is flooding our market and the U.S. market. The fact of the matter is, and what we're most disappointed about, is we're being caught up in this tariff on steel when we have an agreement and we have very balanced and free trade between our two countries. And so what happens is there's a lot of again, unfairly traded, subsidized steel that's coming in, particularly from Asia, that's decimating our domestic industries. And when the U.S. has closed off its borders to this unfairly dumped steel, now this steel is trying to find a home and looking, of course, northward, southward as well. But we have to align ourselves with the U.S., make it clear that we share this concern about unfairly traded steel from Asia and that we're not a transshipment point for this steel as well. So I think these measures are designed to do that. We certainly want to see steel or tariffs on fabricated steel from China. Right now, it's just on the raw steel from China, but not on the engineered material.
Keenan Loomis joining us from Toronto, President and CEO of the Canadian Institute of Steel Construction. Keenan, thanks for taking time for CTV News amid this breaking news from the Prime Minister on the steel industry. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much.